Welcome back to Alpha Clyde the Wolf Therian. Happy to see you guys again. I am Alpha Clyde. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
Therianism, often misunderstood and misrepresented, is a unique identity that encompasses a wide range of experiences and beliefs. In this video, Alpha Clyde will delve into some of the most common misconceptions surrounding Therianism and shed light on the truth behind these beliefs.
One of the most pervasive misconceptions is that Therianthropy is simply a form of role-playing, fantasy, or even wishful thinking. Skeptics question the legitimacy of identifying as an animal on a spiritual or psychological level. Therianism goes beyond mere role-playing or adopting an animal personas for entertainment purposes. For many Therianthropes, their identification with animals is deeply ingrained and meaningful, extending far beyond mere fantasy. Therian individuals genuinely experience a sense of being spiritually connected to an animal, often feeling that they possess animal-like traits, behaviors, or instincts. This connection is often described as an integral part of their identity, profoundly shaping their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Comparing Therianism to role-playing trivializes the genuine and deeply held beliefs of individuals who identify as Therians. It overlooks the profound spiritual significance that this identity holds for many Therians. Another misconception is that therianthropy is a form of mental illness, mental disorder, psychiatric condition, or delusion. Therianthropy is not classified as a mental disorder by psychiatric associations, but instead is considered a variation of human experience. These human experiences are distinguished from psychiatric conditions by the absence of distress or impairment associated with the identification. Their identity is not a pathological condition, but rather a deeply held spiritual or psychological phenomenon that shapes their sense of self and identity. Labeling Therianism as a mental illness can be stigmatizing and invalidating. It overlooks the complex and diverse nature of human experiences Therianism may hold for individuals who identify as such. Some people mistakenly believe that therianthropes physically transform into animals, or at least believe that they can transform. In reality, Therians experience a psychological or spiritual identification with animals versus an actual physical transformation. This is an internal sense of identification with an animal or animals, rather than a physical one. While Therians feel a deep connection and kinship to a specific animal or animal species, this does not typically manifest as a desire for physical transformation. Therian identity is more about an internal sense of self and connection to animals rather than a desire to physically become an animal. While the term therianthropy shares linguistic roots with lycanthropy, the mythical ability to transform into a wolf, the two concepts are not the same. Therianthropy is an identity phenomenon of modern subculture, while lycanthropy is of folklore and mythology. Lycanthropy typically refers to the mythical or folkloric belief in humans transforming into wolves or werewolves, often associated with curses or supernatural afflictions. Therianism, on the other hand, is a contemporary identity characterized by a profound connection to animals or animal spirits. Therian individuals do not believe in or claim to undergo physical transformations into animals. Instead, their identity is rooted in a spiritual or psychological connection to animals, which they may experience as an integral aspect of their sense of self. Therianism is often misunderstood as a passing phase or temporary fascination with animals like other trends or subcultures. In reality, it's a deeply personal and meaningful identity, involving profound connections that can shape one's sense of self and worldview in significant ways with a rich history dating back decades. Therian individuals typically experience their identity as an enduring aspect of who they are rather than a fleeting interest or temporary phase. For many Therians, their connection to animals is an integral part of their identity that persists over time and influences various aspects of their lives. Some people may mistakenly believe that Therianism only involves identifying with certain charismatic or iconic animal species, such as wolves or big cats, while overlooking the range of animal identities that individuals may experience. In actuality, Therianthropy encompasses a wide range of animal identities beyond wolves or other common stereotypes. Therianthropes may identify with any animal species, including domestic, wild, mythical, or extinct animals. While some individuals may indeed identify strongly with well-known animals like wolves or big cats, others may feel a connection to more unconventional or lesser-known species such as insects, reptiles, or sea creatures. Therian identity is deeply personal and subjective, shaped by individual experiences, emotions, and spiritual beliefs. It is not limited by societal expectations or stereotypes about which animals are appropriate to identify with. Additionally, Therianism is not necessarily confined to a single animal identity. Many Therians may experience connections to multiple animal species or may find that their sense of animal identity evolves over time. While animals play a central role in therianthropy, there's really an overall broader connection to nature, spirituality, and personal growth. The misconception Therianism is just about animals overlooks the complexity of Therianism as it extends beyond mere fascination and into the exploration of concepts such as totemism, shamanism, and animism as part of their spiritual practice. For Therians, the spiritual connection can shape their worldview, values, and understanding of themselves. These connections delve into feeling a fundamental kinship or resonance with a particular animal on a deeply personal level. This deep spiritual connection and self-exploration tend to lead a Therian into journeys of introspection, self-discovery, and personal growth beyond the realm of their animal-related experiences. Therianthropy is sometimes misconstrued as primarily focusing on emulating animal behavior or adopting animal-like mannerisms. While some therianthropes may feel a deep affinity for certain animal behaviors, the identity is rooted in internal feelings of connection rather than outward mimicry. Therianthropy is more about an internal sense of identity. It involves a deep-seated resonance with an animal species on a spiritual, psychological, and, on occasion, even a physical level. This connection may influence a Therian's thoughts, feelings, and perceptions of themselves and the world around them. For many Therians, this is deeply personal and private aspect of their lives, rather than something they express through outward behavior. While some may incorporate elements of animal symbolism or imagery into their daily lives, this does not necessarily translate to behaving like animals in a literal sense. Therianthropy is a highly individual and diverse phenomenon, and therefore not all therianthropes experience mental or phantom shifts, the sensation of animalistic traits or instincts. Because this is so deeply personal and individual, the intensity and frequency of such experiences can vary widely. Not all individuals who identify as Therian will experience shifts in the same way. Some will experience it only once, some on occasion, and some not at all. Shifts you see are subjective experiences where Therian may feel a temporary change in their thoughts, emotions, or perceptions, aligning more closely with the stereotype. These can include such experiences as feeling sensations or instincts associated with the stereotype, experiencing altered states of consciousness, or having vivid dreams or visions. Because these shifts can manifest in various ways, it's impossible to predict whether one will ever experience a shift at all. For those who do, the frequency and intensity of shifts can vary widely. Some Therians may have frequent and intense shifts that significantly impact their daily lives, while others may have frequent or subtle shifts that are less noticeable. Additionally, there are Therians who may identify with multiple animal species or have complex fluid identities, which can further influence their experiences of shifts. It's essential to recognize that the absence of shifts does not invalidate someone's identity as a Therian, as there are many other ways in which individuals may connect with their stereotype or express their Therian identity. Some people may mistakenly believe that therianthropy is linked to fetishism or sexual attraction to animals. On the contrary, therianthropy is a spiritual identity unrelated to sexual preferences or fetishes. Fetishism typically involves a sexual attraction or arousal related to specific objects, body parts, or behaviors, often independent of personal identity or spirituality. While it's true that some individuals may incorporate aspects of their Therian identity into their personal relationships or sexual experiences, this does not characterize Therianism as a whole. The vast majority of Therians view their identity as separate from sexual attraction or fetishistic desires, and they emphasize the importance of understanding Therianism is a legitimate aspect of their identity distinct from sexual preferences or kinks. Therianthropy is often misconstrued as solely focusing on physical characteristics or traits associated with animals. While some therianthropes may experience sensations of animal-like traits, their identity is primarily concerned with one's internal sense of identity rather than physical attributes. Therians typically describe their stereotype as a deep-seated feeling or recognition of being spiritually or psychologically akin to a particular animal species. This identification goes far beyond mere physical resemblance and encompasses behavioral patterns, emotional responses, or spiritual connection. While some Therians may feel a strong affinity with certain physical characteristics of their stereotype, these attributes are not the sole focus of their identity. Instead, Therianism encompasses a holistic understanding of oneself that includes psychological, spiritual, and sometimes even metaphysical elements. Therianthropy is sometimes misunderstood to be a cult. No, it's not a cult. There is no overarching central figure leading all Therians around the world. It's a diverse and decentralized subculture composed of individuals who share a common identity based on their spiritual or psychological connection to their stereotypes. Cults typically involve a hierarchical structure with a charismatic leader who exerts control over members' beliefs, behaviors, and actions. They often employ coercive tactics to manipulate and exploit their followers for personal gain or ideological purposes. Therianism, on the other hand, lacks such centralized leadership or coercive control mechanisms. Therian communities are generally characterized by their emphasis on mutual respect, support, and shared experiences. They provide a supportive environment to explore and discuss their Therian identity without fear of judgment or coercion. Participation in Therian communities is voluntary, and individuals are free to engage with the community to whatever extent they feel comfortable. Additionally, Therianism does not involve any specific set of beliefs or practices beyond the shared experience of identity as a non-human animal in some way. Therians are free to interpret and express their Therian identity in ways that are meaningful to them without adherence to a prescribed dogma or ideology. Because there are so many misconceptions about Therianism, tune in for the second half of this 2-video series as we discuss even more misconceptions in the next video. If you have any kind of comments, questions, anything to add, put it in the comments below and I will respond as soon as I can.